Leslie Capps, Wild Woman Marketing. And I have a special guest with me here today. We're talking about my book. What is the name of that book, right? Turn Your Story into Business Gold, the ultimate guide to stories that sell. I still have to think about it. But today I have Peggy Cameron with me, and she is an amazing coach. And her mission really is to help entrepreneurs work less, earn more, so that we can enjoy all the things that we love about entrepreneurship, right? And who doesn't want that? So welcome to Peggy, and thanks for joining us from Ottawa.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that kind introduction.
Absolutely. I appreciate so much your willingness to play along with me in the book and submit a quote. So if you would share with the audience, what inspired you to share this particular book that you have in this particular quote, right, in the book? And as always, you guys, you're going to have to get the book to read Peggy's amazing quote.
When I work with solopreneurs, what I find with most people is what holds them back is their mindset. And mindset is all about your story. And it's all about the story you're telling yourself in your head. And it could very well be hogwash, It might not mean anything whatsoever. And if you just change your story, you can change the results. And so that's why I said what I said and why you should write yourself into your story, but make sure the self you're writing into the story is the one you want.
Absolutely. I love that. It's so true, right? It's not only about the story here, but it's a story going on in here and what we believe. And
That's
often
right.
that is the most powerful story, isn't it?
It
And
is.
sometimes we get caught in thinking we're not the hero when we always should be in this one. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. And can you share a specific moment when your story made a difference in your own business or life?
I basically didn't believe that anybody wanted to, um, I guess I didn't believe anyone was interested in what I was doing. And I didn't want to disturb people and bug them and all of that sort of thing. So I didn't do what I had to do to make the business move ahead. And when I finally got out of that story, things started taking off. And I could change how people saw me, how I saw myself, and make the business grow. And it feels fun to do some of these things that you probably do in your sleep, but for me are really, really hard. But that's just the story, the fact that it's hard and it's become more fun. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely um yeah, agree with that. And in fact, it was a real realization even when I wrote this book because I loved the book writing process. Like that is totally my jam in that creative space. And yet when I came to my website, I was like, oh, this is hard. This isn't fun. I was like, wait a minute. That's just the story you're telling yourself, right?
You're
Um,
doing exactly the same thing you were doing when you were writing the book. You're writing. That's all you're doing. Is telling the story.
Exactly. There's a few different pieces you're going to move around, but you're right. It's basically that very same thing, but somehow that felt so heavy until I was like, okay, you got to get out of your own way here. So yeah, absolutely. What impact do you hope this book will have on entrepreneurs and storytellers?
I hope they learn to get out of their own way and and tell their story in such a way that people are inspired by their story and they can grow their businesses and have the life of their dreams.
Right. And not only like when you said that, it struck me too. It's not only they inspire other people, but they inspire themselves, don't you think?
Yeah,
That yeah, when we tell our story, we're kind of like, hey, that's pretty cool.
exactly. And get yourself fired up. You do have something to offer. Or in my case, I have something to offer. I have something to share. But I've been working by myself for so long, or with, just a couple of other people, that to me it's normal. But other people say, whoa, that's your life. And that's your story, and that's what you can share, and you have so much to offer the world. Really? I do? Yes, you do. Okay. So that's
Exactly.
what I'm hoping, that other people get that same idea.
Right? Yeah. I think entrepreneurs, if you're here in entrepreneur land, you absolutely have something to share. I can almost 99% guarantee. I've not met a single person. Maybe the stories are weedy and we don't quite understand what they do, but they really have a mission and a purpose if they're willing to jump into this space, right? Because sometimes it's not the most welcoming and it's very lot of stuff that you feel like, oh, I got to get a handle on this and this and this and this, and where do I even start?
And that's why I run masterminds, is to help people who are in that exact same situation. We get together with half a dozen other people in a similar position, and they share ideas with each other. And this is the issue that I'm facing. Has anybody faced it before? What do I do? Well, have you tried this, or have you tried that, or how about the next thing? Or even just celebrating, this is the most amazing thing that just happened, and I can't brag to anybody else. But you guys, you're all gonna get it, and yeah, share your
Right.
story, share the good stuff as well as the hard stuff.
Right? Yeah, yeah, you're so right. Yeah, you can brag to people, they just don't get it. They're like, that's nothing. Why are you telling us that, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Um, so so we know you run masterminds. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us about the work you do or what you're passionate about?
A friend of mine died a couple of years ago. He was 39 years old, and he died in his sleep. His mom sent the kid upstairs to wake up dad, and the kid couldn't. And then the next thing I knew, they were having a GoFundMe campaign because she couldn't find any of the financial stuff. He was a very successful businessman, solopreneur, but everything was digital because he was 39, and that's what 39-year-olds do. And I just don't want that mess to happen to anybody else. Um, then 6 months later, the son-in-law of one of my clients died, 39 years old.
Wow.
And exact same story. Wife and child were without any financial resources. At least in this case, she had a job. The previous one, she didn't have a job. And I thought, if it's happening to these 39-year-olds, it's got to be a common thing. And I just can't stand it, to be perfectly honest. How could you do that to your family? Or people retiring and having nothing to retire on, but they're forced to because of illness or circumstances. So I've been in the financial planning area and income tax for years and years and years. So I know the background, and I just don't want it to happen to anybody else. So with the masterminds, we work on the business, and then on the coaching side, I make sure their personal finances are in order. Do you
Yeah.
have a will? No. Do I need one? Yes, you do. Do you have a power of attorney? No. What's that? Okay. Let me get you organized. So a
Sure.
lot of hand holding, and some people might call it nagging. I just call it gently reminding over and over and over again.
I'm going to remind you till you don't forget.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, what a powerful why behind your own story of seeing, because you're right. And I think it's something we don't think about, right?
Right.
Everything is in this universe out here, like I'm the metaverse, right? To so to speak. And we don't think about what if something did happen, where would people find all this stuff? Yeah.
Yeah. It, And if you've gone into anybody's office, it's either pristine because everything's online, or there's stuff everywhere. And, good luck finding anything.
Exactly. Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
big
Very
mess.
cool. Right.
And the executor comes in, throws away everything, and then says, okay, Peggy, straighten out the tax side. And okay, well, I need this, 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 and this. Oh, we've emptied the house and thrown everything away. Okay,
Right.
let's make up something good. I don't know.
Or bad. We just got to make up
Yeah,
something, right?
we got to figure out something reasonable. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Well, if people were interested in learning more about you or having a chat, where could they find you?
My website is cameronleadership.ca, and you can contact me through the how to contact me page.
There you go.
Yeah, and
There
it's
you go.
Peggy at cameronleadership.ca is my email address.
Gotcha. Perfect. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me and joining me in the book journey because
So
you
much
know,
fun.
yeah, it's already been a little bit of a wild ride. So we'll see what happens next. But I truly appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Awesome.